You don't need motivation. That's the lie you keep repeating. You say you're waiting for the right feeling, the right energy, the right moment, but that moment never comes, and you know that. You scroll, you watch, you listen to voices telling you to push harder, be stronger, believe more. You nod, you agree, then you do nothing. Not because you can't, but because you won't. Pause. Motivation is a convenient excuse. It sounds respectable. It sounds temporary. It lets you believe the problem is outside you. It isn't. You are not lacking fuel. You are avoiding honesty. And that is harder to face. You don't need to feel ready. You need to admit what you've been protecting. You already know what you should be doing. You don't need another reminder. What you need is the courage to say, I don't want to. Pause. Not, I can't. Not, I'm tired. Not, I'll start tomorrow. I don't want to. That sentence scares you, because once you say it, you lose the illusion. The illusion that you're trying. The illusion that circumstances are the problem. The illusion that motivation is missing. You are not confused. You are conflicted. You want comfort. And you want progress. You cannot have both. Pause. So you choose comfort. Quietly, repeatedly, then you dress it up with explanations. You say you're waiting to feel inspired. You say you need clarity. You say you're burned out. But deep down, you know the truth. You are avoiding the cost of effort, the cost of discomfort, the cost of seeing yourself clearly. Honesty threatens the image you hold of yourself. Because if you're honest, you have to admit something uncomfortable. You are choosing this life. Pause. Not because it's all you can get, but because it's easier than change. You don't stay stuck by accident. You stay stuck by agreement. An agreement you renew every day. You wake up. You feel the weight. You think about what you should do. Then you choose what feels familiar. And you call it waiting for motivation. Pause. Motivation is not missing. It's irrelevant. You've done difficult things before without motivation. You've shown up when you didn't feel like it. You've endured discomfort when you had no choice. So don't pretend feelings are the barrier. The barrier is honesty. Honesty would force you to stop pretending you're a victim of circumstances. It would force you to admit that no one is stopping you. No one is holding you back. Not really. Pause. And that's terrifying. Because if no one is stopping you, then you are responsible. Not guilty. Not broken. Responsible. Responsibility removes excuses, and excuses have been your shelter. You hide behind plans you don't execute. You hide behind knowledge you don't use. You hide behind potential you don't act on. Potential feels safe. Action feels final. As long as you don't act, you don't have to face the outcome. You don't have to see your limits. You don't have to risk disappointment. So you stay still, and you call it patience. Pause. But patience isn't what you're practicing. You're practicing avoidance. Avoidance of effort. Avoidance of failure. Avoidance of seeing what happens when you actually try. Because trying removes your favorite story. The story where you could be more if only things were different. Honesty would end that story. It would replace it with something quieter, something heavier. This is the result of what I do every day. No drama, no mystery, just cause and effect. Pause. That truth doesn't motivate you. It doesn't inspire you. It corners you. And that's why you resist it. You don't need encouragement. You don't need belief. You need to stop lying to yourself about what you're choosing. You're not too busy. You're prioritizing comfort. You're not overwhelmed. You're avoiding focus. You're not unmotivated. You're unwilling. Those words sting because they point inward. Pause. And before you defend yourself, notice what you're doing. Notice how quickly you want to explain, to soften it, to make it sound reasonable. That reflex is the problem. The need to protect your self-image. You want to see yourself as someone who would do the work if conditions were right. But conditions are never the reason. They're just the story you tell yourself to avoid admitting a simpler truth. You don't want to give up what change would cost you, your time, your comfort, your distractions, so you stay exactly where you are. Pause. And time keeps moving anyway. Days pass, weeks stack, years quietly disappear. Not dramatically, not all at once. Just slowly enough that you don't notice until something inside you feels heavy. That heaviness isn't confusion, it's recognition. Recognition that you've been negotiating with yourself for too long. You keep promising later. You keep delaying honesty. And every delay teaches you something dangerous, that you don't mean what you say to yourself. Pause. That erosion matters, because trust in yourself doesn't break loudly. It fades. Every time you avoid the truth, you weaken it, until one day you don't believe yourself at all. Not your plans, not your intentions, not your words. And then motivation feels impossible. Not because you need it, but because you've trained yourself not to act without it. Pause. This is the moment where something can shift. Not dramatically, not emotionally, quietly. You can stop asking, "How do I get motivated?" and ask a more honest question. What am I avoiding admitting right now? Not out loud, not to anyone else, just to yourself. No fixing it, no planning, just naming it. Pause. That honesty won't feel good. It won't feel empowering. It will feel exposed, uncomfortable, heavy, but it will be real. And real is the only thing you've been missing. Not motivation, not discipline, truth. Because once you stop lying to yourself, there's nothing left to wait for, and nothing left to hide behind, just you.